All day long. Yeah. All night long. And we ready like. And then we in the field like. All day long. 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 Let's go. Come on. All day long.
Welcome to the show. It's Game Day Playoff Edition. I'm Trey Scott.
I'm Ryan Pittman.
And let's get into it. Big special shout out to the Greene County Diamond Club. Also, the parents from North and North were sponsoring this show. We couldn't have done it without it.
No, we couldn't have.
We did down the line for 10 episodes, couldn't find a sponsor, and we had to stop. And here we are today. They said we can't go no farther. We got to have more. We got to have more.
We've got some important baseball coming
Man,
up.
do we?
Yes, we do.
Let's get into it. Before we get into our big matchups Friday night, let's go to get a recap of the season and talk about each team and how they fared and how they look.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with Parrott.
Yep.
18-9 season, 13 and they started season 13-2. 6 of those games were against public schools. Cade Mixon, Caleb Sanderson, they both had great season. JoJo Farabee as well, but Mixon, 319 average, 21 RBIs, 1 home run. Sanderson, 329 average, 24 RBIs. I mean, them boys played, some good baseball this season.
They had a great season. Even Coach Kravitz says that they went beyond their expectation. They were a very young team.
Yeah, and they lost a lot.
They did. They lost a lot of pitching. They lost a lot of hitting.
Yeah.
And they came back and they fought. Like I said, a lot of young players, a lot of comeback, a lot to look forward to.
100%, yeah.
All right, rolling on to the girls softball. They went 1-12. We're not going to go too deep in that, but they're a very, very young team. I'm sure they'll bounce back very soon. They got 1 senior graduating. We look forward to Parrott softball next year. All right, Bethel Christian Academy. They had a year, man.
They surprised me.
Oh.
I will go on record saying it right here. They surprised me.
Well, I got to
Both.
see them a little bit. Now, the softball team really surprised me.
Yeah.
But on the baseball team, I got to see them a little bit more last year, and I knew what they had coming with Cooper and Jamie and Alex Hill. The whole team, the Turnage kid, they got some ballers. They got some good players. Let's run off some stats. They scored 195 runs, only allowed 87. They were 10-1 at home. Alex Hill, the only graduating center, he batted .328, 16 RBIs, 1 home run. Jamie Williams had a great year batting, .441, 29 RBIs, but also picked up 7 wins pitching. Like I said, only losing 1 senior, made it to the state finals.
Yeah, and the team they lost to, Wilmington Christian.
Very good.
They have 4 losses on this year. 3 of them to Wilmington Christian. That was a really good team.
And also, the game before, they went extra innings. They had to play the night before, and the game didn't start till like something crazy, like 11 o'clock. They didn't finish till like 12:30, 1 o'clock. Then had to turn around and play a 1 o'clock game an hour away.
Yeah, and that tournament was different. Everything was hosted at Wilson Christian. But I mean, you can't take away from this season. I mean, they're losing one senior. They're going to be back next year.
And big shout, before we move on, big shout out to Cooper Williams, man. He played without a meniscus in one of his knees, and he fought through it. And the doctor told him it didn't matter if he played or not, had surgery now or later, it was going to be the same. And, man, he toughed through it. He's one of their best players, and he balled out.
That injury came early in the season. I was there for that game when he got hurt, warming up on the pitching mound. But, I mean, way to, tough it out. And, I don't know if they make that run all the way to the state championship without him.
Nope, they sure don't. All right, moving on to softball. The girls are 16-2 season, undefeated at home.
Shout out to Coach Stroud, man.
Man, what? And shout out to Coach Kenny, too. We love Coach Kenny.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Kenny for the boys. But, yeah, shout out to Coach Ashley Stroud for putting this together. They struggled for the last 3 or 4 years, even having quality players, and now they got young studs, man.
Yeah, Suzanne Rouse.
Baller.
9th grade, finished 6-0 record on the mound. Batted .531 with 6 home runs. Emerson Smith, a 7th grader, finished with a 6-2 record. Batted .415 with 1 home run. I mean, they got it going. Like I said, I was surprised by Beth. I was surprised by baseball and softball, but definitely softball. I mean, undefeated 10-0 at home. That's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
You talk about the boys and their run differential. Look at the ladies. They scored 254 runs while only allowing 82.
Big time. Big time. I mean, that's you're going to win games.
Yeah, 100%.
You're
Yeah,
gonna win
when you outscore your opponent that much, you're going to win games.
All right, let's move on to Kinston High. Kinston High finished with a 1-17 season. You have to know to build up and make up this team to understand what they're putting out on the field and how much effort they got going. I know Coach McLeod, he puts all his heart into this team, and I know they got better throughout the years. Highlight their one senior they got, Karan Ross. He batted .321 and had 20 stolen bases. Great job, kid. He toughed it out. The whole team is returning besides Ross. Expect to see a better baseball team next season.
Yeah, and effort. They weren't 1-17 because they didn't have effort. I mean,
That's
they
right.
played. I went to a couple of their games. They hustled. They're building something
For sure.
there at Kinston High. Karan Ross, great on the football field. He was, great for them on the diamond. I think he's going to be playing football and baseball at Guilford. So, I mean, looking to, ready to see where his career goes.
Agreed. All right, on to the Kinston softball. Unfortunately, went 0-15, but you have to look at more than what they got. They got two seniors that they're losing, Carmen Davis and Sadea Hardy. Sorry, Sadea. And they're both graduating, but they have a lot of young girls coming back. They only have one other junior, and everybody else is freshmen and sophomores. Coach Hines is doing a heck of a job getting the girls there and getting them ready. And not only is she having to deal with coaching on the go, but she has 3 or 4 athletes that's playing track and softball, and they're pulling from each other. She's in a tough spot, but she's killing it, and the girls are getting better. I expect nothing but more and more to come from Kinston High.
100%. Yeah, I'm excited to see next year both, the boys team and the girls team at Kinston. Like I said, sometimes you have to have these little, bumps in the road. But I think both teams, proved this year that they will compete. They're not scared to, play South Lenoir. They're not scared to play Wallace Rose Hill.
Right.
They're going to go out and compete. And next year, I think they're going to go in the right direction.
I agree. All right, moving on. South Lenoir baseball. Oh, man, what a roller coaster. What a roller coaster. They started 6-0. Then they fell off a little bit. I'm not even going to say fell off because I know y'all hold my words to my dearly. They started 6-0. Then they had some up and downs. Then they fought back with a great run at the end of the season. Almost won the conference championship. Beat North Lenoir at home.
Broke a streak. That was a while.
Broke a streak.
Yeah.
Went to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Took Greene Central to the brink, the number one team in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, man, shout out to Coach Paul Nowicki in his first season coaching, man. I'm so impressed. Also, but I'll let you break down some stats. Also, they were undefeated at home. What you got?
Get ready because these are some legit stats. Right?
Legit?
These are legit stats.
They love legit.
So, sophomore Gage Howard, batting
Big time.
.426, 20 RBIs, 6 doubles. Jake Howard, .380 average, 16 RBIs, 4 doubles, 1 home run. Tadpole, Matthew Rhodes, 7-2 record, .230 ERA, 61 strikeouts. They had 2 seniors, that played great, Adam McDonald and Braxton Bird. Adam McDonald, .380, batting average, and Braxton Bird, .339. We said it at the beginning of the year. They were a young team. Beginning of the year, when we talked about it, you said you didn't think they were quite there. They were making a bunch of errors in the beginning of the year, which you can ask anybody deep in that program. It was true. What we saw a couple Friday nights ago when they played Greene Central here, the errors were gone.
Yep.
They grew over the year, and losing 2 seniors and bringing Tadpole back and bringing Jake Howard, this team's going to be something to deal with next year.
I totally agree. They got the hitters, man. Gage Howard, like you said, Jake. You got Braden Barnett, who's just a sophomore pitcher. He's going to step up, and I know he's going to be a good arm for him next year. Watch out for South Lenoir next year. South Lenoir softball, man. 8-1 record at home, 15-6 at overall in the season. Conference champs.
Yeah.
Conference champs. Outscored their opponents 155-75. They had big wins against Midway, big wins against Richlands, East Duplin, North Lenoir.
Twice.
They're graduating 5 seniors.
Yeah.
However, they got some stud ballers in the freshman, sophomore classes, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
go ahead.
Jade Sassnett.
Yep.
Freshman pitcher, 7-1, pitching record with 77 strikeouts. She's impressive. I mean, she's just to think she got sophomore, junior, and senior year down at South Lenoir.
Rylan Wade.
Yeah, another
Man,
freshman.
She came out with a stick, and she's been hitting all year long. I think she's got 6 home runs. I might be wrong. 4 home runs, hit 385, 11 RBIs, 4 doubles, 1 triple. Mackenzie Herron, 328, 19 RBIs, 7 doubles, 3 triples. Carly Boone batting .433, 15 RBIs, 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs. Nothing but good things are coming at South Lenoir next year.
And shout out to Coach Harvey.
No
I
doubt.
mean, she's done a great job with them girls down there. You know, they lost in the third round of the playoffs. But, you know, they got a team. You know, we talk about the record 15-6. You would think, you know, when you say 15-6, that's, you know, average team, right? That is not an average team. They played some hard non-conference opponents, Havelock, some of these bigger schools. And but I mean, Coach Harvey has done a great job, and I'm excited to see, you know, next year what she does with, you know, Jade Sassnick coming back, you know, as a freshman or she's going to be a sophomore. Rylan Wade as a sophomore. It's looking good down there.
And I need to mention they made it to the 3rd round. They lost to Midway in a game they could have won because they already beat Midway one time this year. Great run, great playoff run. You got all these freshmen in the 3rd round. No doubt that experience is going to be invaluable. Let's move on. All right, right quick, we got an exclusive interview for you guys. This is pretty good stuff to see. I got to catch up with Coach Shear from North Lenoir, get to see the vibe of the Hawks, how practice been this week, you know, how did he overcome a tough night from Monday. Check out the interview. All right, right now I got with me Coach Shear from the North Lenoir Hawks. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
No problem. We just talked a little bit, but let's give our crowd, our viewers, an insight of a quick background on you and where you're from.
Yeah, I'm originally from Arizona. I played JUCO ball at Scottsdale Community College. Then I ended up playing at Mount Olive, graduated in 2012. I played 4 years at independent ball. I ended up in Schaumburg with the Boomers. We won a league championship there, which was pretty cool. And then that kind of took me out to California where I met my wife and ended up living out there for a couple of years and got to coach at the high school level for 3 years out there before moving here.
All right, so been here, well, you've been coaching here for 6 years, right?
Yes, yep.
How is the difference? Let's talk about the difference between West Coast and Eastern North Carolina baseball, if there is a difference.
You know, I get the question a lot, but where we're at here, there really isn't much difference because it's year-round there and it's year-round here. You know, you get to the Midwest where they definitely can't go year-round, so like you're going to see a little difference there. But you know, out here and especially with what we do and all the teams around the area going year-round, there isn't a whole lot of difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we just mentioned, 6th year here, but 1st year head coach. But last year, a lot of seniors not graduated. 11 seniors, a lot of talent gone, but a lot of talent replaced it.
Yeah.
Did you expect to be in this spot?
You always expect to be in this spot. You know, that's the whole goal. You know, going into a year, that's what you plan for. That's what you prepare for, starting from the first day of fall. You know, even through summer ball, you're preparing and getting ready for this moment. So, I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you every time I expect to be here. So.
And I understand you were under Coach Jackson Massey. I know y'all were pretty good friends, still are.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Was there a culture change any, or was pretty much y'all were on the same court? Or
you know, we were pretty much always on the same level. You know, and it was really, really cool to work with Massey. He gave me a lot of, you know, slack where I was able to have a lot of input, especially on the offensive side. And we worked super, super well together. So there really wasn't a huge change, you know, between the team last year, the culture last year, and culture this year. It's all about working hard and having fun doing it.
That's pretty cool. So the tradition stays. It never
Tradition
graduates.
stays, yeah. I mean, I didn't come into North Lenoir looking to change any kind of tradition. I mean, you know, those signs are up there for a reason, and you know, that's our plan, is just to keep that tradition alive.
How is this team? You know, it's your first full team as a head coach. I know it's a special group to you, but how is it coaching this team? What do you get out of this season, more than wins and losses? You know, in the dugout, at practice. You know, how fun, how up and downs.
That's the word to describe it, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
This group is a lot of fun. You know, they all have different characteristics here and there, but I mean, they do come together as a group, and it makes my job a whole lot easier, but it does definitely make it a whole lot more fun.
How much has Jackson Jenkins and Blake Crawford, the two seniors, helped you become the coach you are? Not necessarily become the coach you are, but help you, lead this team.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson, Blake, and Eli, they've been.
I'm sorry, Eli.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's made my job a whole lot easier.
Mhm.
And especially being here their entire high school career. I've known them since they stepped on campus here. It just made that transition a little bit easier, being able to rely on them with their leadership and just take us, into where we're at now. I mean, they have the experience, and so they're able to share that with the rest of the team and kind of keep them level-headed.
Well, big game coming up. You got to hit the road tomorrow.
Yeah.
This will be aired tomorrow, so today. What do you expect out of this matchup? What do you know about Whiteville?
What I know is they're a very good baseball team, very well coached. They're going to be in the 4th round just like we are, and at this point in the season, it's anybody's game, really. So.
Last question. I didn't prepare you for this one. I scrolled through Facebook all night.
All good.
Have you had your vertical check lately?
I have not.
That Martin County game, I seen some pictures where you got up, man. How big was that moment for you guys and for you, to get through that tough moment? That was playoff baseball.
That was playoff baseball. And I told everybody going into that game, I told our guys, like, look, same deal as, what we're talking about with Whiteville. I mean, they were there for that same reason we were. And you never look past somebody. I knew it was going to be a really good game. They had been playing some really good baseball. I had actually come in from the dugout, or I came into the dugout after the 9th inning, and I looked at Coach Ayers. I said, if Eli gets us through this inning, I think we're going to win. Eli got us through. We came in. We get a guy on base. We steal second, and Blake steps up. I mean, what a guy to have in that situation. He steps up, and I see the ball hit, and I didn't even look at the ball. I was just looking at my runner saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. So it was a huge moment, and what a great moment for those guys to have and share together. So it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. We enjoyed it as well. I busted my tail from Greene Central to get here to cover that. Well, to see y'all's game because Brian was covering it. Great job this year, man. Keep killing it. Hey, go play ball tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Get a win.
Appreciate
Get
it.
a win. All right, back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, talking about the next 2 teams, North Lenoir. North Lenoir, 21-4 season, 10-1 at home, ECC conference champs. They got some big bats. They got some good pitchers. Coach Scherer, first year coaching, and great job, Coach.
Man,
great job.
He looks when you talk to him after a game, it looks like he's been there 5-10 years doing it. It's impressive. When I found out it was his first year, his rookie year coaching, I was just like, wow, But I mean, they've got some studs down there.
They do, man. They had big wins this year against Nash Central, Southern Wayne, CBA Cock. But the incoming of Garrett Bird from Parrott to North Lenoir was enormous.
Yeah.
Enormous. He's one of their best pitchers. He's one of their best hitters.
Yeah.
He's a mature kid that produces.
Yeah.
And also a heck of a catcher.
Yeah, we talked about it. Parrott losing him, was big for them. Big for North Lenoir picking him up. I mean, you look at his stats. I mean, batting .357, 29 RBIs, 8 doubles, 6 home runs, and pitching 5-1 record, 61 strikeouts, 2.74 ERA, and then right into the pitching, Jackson Jenkins.
He's been a stud all year, man.
I know. And when you look at his 344, 13 RBIs, but 7-0 pitching, 79 strikeouts, a .91 ERA, sub-1.
That's amazing. Now, then you throw behind an Eli Kearney with a 5-2 record with 2.33 ERA with 46 Ks. Then you got senior Blake Crawford. Have we mentioned Blake yet?
We have not mentioned Blake yet.
Blake Crawford has been nothing but great. He's been nothing great all on the field and off the field. Every time I talk to him, he has a mature, smart, intelligent answer to every question we have asked. There's no doubt this guy has it and this guy gets it. He's batting .391, 25 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 1 third base, one triple, and 6 home runs.
Yeah. The first time I ever talked to him after a game was, and I can't remember what game it was, but he hit a home run. And the answer he gave when we were talking about it is, what were your, he said, the guy was providing the velocity for me. All I had to do was get the barrel on the ball. And, but he's great on the field, off the field. Yep. He's what you want to have as a high school senior.
Yep, 100%. We're going to talk a little bit more about North Lenoir because North Lenoir Greene Central are still in it. Right now, we're moving on to North Lenoir softball. Coach Bobby Hatcher, you are the man. 14-3 season, second place in the conference. Gave South Lenoir all they wanted, man.
They
Came
sure
down
did.
to the last game, conference championship
Both
game.
games, man. The first game at the Swamp, and,
Extra innings.
Yeah, extra innings, and then the second game, at South Lenoir, very close matchup. But I mean, Coach Hatcher has, really done some good work.
Yeah, no
down
doubt,
there.
no doubt. And they're also a very young team. They scored 221 runs and allowed 91. These girls could hit the ball. Almost the whole team is coming back, almost. With that being said, let's name off some players, some ballers. Kaylee Bridwell. We have not mentioned this girl much this season, and that's on me. Bridwell, if you're watching, I'm sorry, we got you next year. 541 batting average, 26 RBIs, 9 doubles, 2 triples. Down to Lakin Whitley, 569 batting average, 19 RBIs, 4 doubles, 5 triples, 1 home run. And before I mention the next one on the skipper, Alyssa Hatcher, 473, 22 RBIs, and Haley Fowler batted 394, 21 RBIs. Who am I missing?
I think it was a Rouse girl.
Maddie
right?
Rouse.
Oh, yeah.
Maddie Rouse. She's one of the best players in the area.
Yeah.
We love to cover her. We love she is the heart and soul of this North Lenoir team.
Yeah, 100%. From the pitching, from the mound to the hitting. I mean, it felt like for me that team ran through her.
No doubt, no doubt. And she's a great leader. She never showed worriness. She never showed, that she was down. She always kept it up, and she always came through, and she produced. We can't wait to see her play again next season. I didn't even run off her stats. 534 batting average, 34 RBIs, 10 doubles, 3 triples, 6 home runs, 11-1 pitching record, 85 strikeouts. Oh, man. All right, we got to move on. Greene Central baseball, 24-0 in the season right now, and it's conference champs. Here's the big stat for me right here. And this is the makeup of the team to me. 215 runs scored.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
26.
26 runs allowed in 24 games.
I was looking at it. So I was looking at their schedule. They didn't allow more than 3 runs defensively this whole year.
That's
I mean, that just shows what they've got out in the field too.
Yeah, that's breathtaking. That's amazing. And there's not much I can say about it besides that's just like wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that shows why they're 24-0.
Yeah.
It shows why in the last 45 games they're 44-1. The only loss in that 45 game span was a 3rd round playoff game to South Granville right here last year.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, let's name off some of the big hitters they got. You want to go into it? Or you want? I got it. All right, here we go. Braden Burst. I've watched this kid since he was a freshman. His first at bat as a freshman, he was lead off. He hit it in left center gap. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
Nothing. Except the hair.
I think, except for the hair.
Yeah, except
the
the
boys
hair.
have gone blonde. I could be mistaken on this, but I think he's leading all public schools in batting averages. All the other kids I saw up there were from private schools. With I'm losing my spot, with a 634, he had 25 RBIs, 8 doubles, 3 triples, 4 home runs, 27 stolen bases. He's 8-0 on the mound with a .59 ERA with 78 strikeouts.
Yeah, going to ECU. He's going to ECU next year. I'm excited to see him, down in Greenville. But the kid's a baller, man.
Then, what if I tell you there might be a better pitcher on the team? And that's debatable, but that's crazy to even say that with a kid that's got .59 ERA. Austin Hardy, long lefty senior, man, he has been balling out all year. He had 13 Ks in the 3rd round against Bunn. We're going to talk more about him. I'm going to throw these stats off on you right now. 11-0 pitching record, .44 ERA, and 133 strikeouts. I know last time I checked, he was top 3 in the state in strikeouts.
That's Wheeling and Dillon on the mound, boy.
That's not who I want to face if I got to go at the bat.
No, not 100%. I mean, I want nothing to do with that.
Nothing at all.
And leading right into Will Rafford, sophomore, young kid, batting .606 average, 35 RBIs, 14 doubles, 1 triple. Noah Azale, 364 average, 22 RBIs. Somebody you know pretty well, Jordan Scott.
My dog.
Jordan Scott batting 350, 10 RBIs. We've talked about it all year, and I'm still, we're going to talk about Greene Central a little bit more going into this. bottom of the lineup, man. They have done it. You know, they're a well-rounded team, but Jordan Scott, you know, hitting that 9-hole hitter. You know, they finished first in the 2A East RPIs, currently ranked the number 4 team in North Carolina, all classifications. 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. There's a bunch of schools in that. You know, top 4 is huge. And like you said, 44-1 in their last 45 games.
And going back to that bottom lineup, it's a lot, man. Got to give a shout out to Elijah Moreau, Brady Anderson, Cam Taylor. The kids just show up when they need to do a job. And it's we over me, and I truly believe they have adapted to that. We're going to talk more about Greene Central. Let's finish what we got. All right, Greene Central softball, they finished 0-21, only 1 senior graduating. Definitely a disappointing year for the girls, but like the other schools we mentioned, it was a building year. It's something you have to go through. And junior Mackenzie Moore batted 370. Shelby McKeel, sophomore, batted 346. Rams, keep balling, keep grinding. The only way you're going to get better at this is by practicing and getting more reps. We'll see you next season. I'm sure you'll do better. In our next exclusive interview, we're catching up with the other skipper. Both of us got to talk to him. Coach Ben Brand, 44-1 in the last 45 games. Also 24-0. Career record, coaching record in the EPC conference. That's amazing. Let's go ahead and cut to it. It's a great interview. Check it out. All right, now I got with me Greene Central head coach, Coach Ben Brand. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. No problem.
Great season so far. 24-0, going to the 4th round. Home playoff game here. How cool is that? How just the whole season put together. How big is this run? How fun has it been? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's been really fun, man. Anytime you're winning a bunch of baseball games, it's going to be fun. And the guys we got right now, they're awesome. They're really enjoying it, as you guys saw today at practice. We're out there having fun. They love to grind. They enjoy it a lot, so it's been a lot of fun.
You know, going into the last 45 games, we're 44-1. How is the team's confidence? Obviously it's high, but how do you keep it level to where they don't think they automatically going to win tomorrow or yesterday's game or the game before that?
Yeah, well, I think our playoff run last year kind of has helped keep us grounded because we were rolling last year, 120 in a row, and then South Granville came in here and whooped us pretty good. So they remember it. They remember how it felt. So it's really helped us keep our feet where we are. That's one thing we always say: you got to be where your feet are. So it's really helped us stay grounded here in the playoff run. They know it's win or go home.
Hey, Coach, you played here, graduated 2013. Was there ever a moment when you were playing, maybe that senior year, that you felt like you were going to be the coach of, you know, leading this team into the 4th round of the playoffs, undefeated season?
Yeah, that's a great question. Not really, no. Yeah, like every other high school kid, I had no idea what I wanted to do. It really wasn't until like my senior year in college that I really had an idea that I might want to come back and teach and coach. So I kind of got a late jump on that in my college career, but yeah, not really. But I did find out, or I knew that Coach Jones, the coach that was here before me, was kind of, his tenure was coming to an end. He didn't have many years left before he retired, so I figured why not come back and give it a shot.
How does it feel, you know, this being, you know, where you play? I mean, how does it make you feel to have the success that, you know, on the field that the guys are having? I mean, you look back at times when you played, you know, y'all didn't win any state championships, you know, during that time, but I mean, how does it feel for you?
Yeah, it's great. It's also been really awesome to see the community really come out and support us. It's been great. We've been having huge crowds, so we've been loving the support. It just brings a lot of pride for Snow Hill and Greene Central baseball.
Good deal. And that's what I want to touch on is the support, man. I ain't even gonna say just the playoff games. The last 20 games, man, the crowd has been nothing but former players. You got former dads that used to play. You got almost your whole team's got former dads that used to play. How cool is that? And you know, I haven't seen no baseball dads that heckle or nothing. It seems like everybody's on board, on the same page. How cool is it to be part of a community that's all on one accord?
Yeah, I love it. It makes my job easier knowing that everybody's kind of rowing in the same direction. So it's been awesome. Been loving the support from the parents this year. Been loving the support from the community. It's been great.
Last thing I want to talk about, I ain't even planning on talking about this. How about the tarp y'all use? The avoid rain delays. I mean, that's collegiate level type stuff, man.
Look at where we're standing. I mean, the field is in great shape. It's big for y'all.
Yeah.
How blessed are you?
Yeah, it's great. We got it running like a well-oiled machine right now. But yeah, it's one of my old college coaches is the director of the USA complex over in Cary. So and they were turfing one of their fields, and he donated the tarp to us. We just had to go up there and get it, which was its own little fiasco. But yeah, it's been awesome, and having the boys at the beginning of the year roll it out and put it up a couple times after practice to get us where we need to be. But yeah, it's been huge.
I said that was the last question, but I forgot about this one, probably most importantly. What do you see in Midway? What do you see in the matchup between you guys and Midway? Big game Friday night. Of course, we need the stands packed out, but matchup-wise, what do you see between the Rams and Midway?
Oh yeah, they're going to be a good baseball team. I always hear that they're coached really well. They do a lot of little things right. They're going to be able to hit, and they're going to throw a good arm at us. So we got to come and be able to do our jobs. I don't think we. One thing we've been telling the kids is we don't need your greatest performance of your life. We need you to do your job so we can play Rams baseball.
All right, got one more segment before we break down the big time matchups.
Yes, sir.
Top 5 biggest moments this season. What comes to your mind? Well, give me some.
So the first one for me is going to be both times that South Lenoir and North Lenoir played baseball.
Yep.
And then both times that South Lenoir and North Lenoir played softball. They were really good games. They were rivalry games. I mean, other side of the county, the kids know each other. A lot of the kids that play at South Lenoir play travel ball with kids, play North Lenoir baseball and softball. But both of those games are for softball and baseball were huge moments.
Mine, my next one, we got 5. Mine is going to be South Lenoir, North Lenoir softball. The rival's huge, man. There was so many records broken this year between the baseball and softball teams. The game at North Lenoir went to extra innings, and they haven't beat them in so long. Then the game at South Lenoir was for the conference championship, and it went down to the wire. I think it was 2-1. A lot of 2-0.
No, it was 2-1. Yeah, I was thinking about baseball, sorry.
But there was a lot of controversy at that game.
Yeah.
It could have went either way. Both teams played great. South Lenoir deserved their conference championship, no doubt. Not saying nothing about that. Great moment for both teams throughout the season. Even though North Lenoir lost, them showing up and taking them to the brink. Got to give my hat to Coach Bobby, man. Great job, and great job, Coach Harvey. All right, what you got third?
So my third is going to be we're going to go back to Parrott. Coach Kravitz getting his 400th career win this year. It was in a doubleheader, but I mean, 400 wins. You know, any level, any sport is huge.
You got to think that's 30. It's usually with a good playoff run, you get 28 games.
Yeah.
Dog, that's over 10 years coaching of winning great seasons. Not just 10-year coaching of just coaching. That's 10 years.
And that was Parrott and Lawrence Academy where he was at. But you know, it was exciting. Both of us were there.
Yep.
We got to see the interview, and you know, you were interviewing him, and they dumped the water on him, the ice bath.
And I think it was just the reflection of this season.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the coaching job he did. I mean, he took a team that was young, that lost a lot, even had current players that left, made no excuses, went out there and balled out and picked up 18 wins.
And in that game where he's captured that 400th win, that was the second game of that doubleheader. The first game of that doubleheader, they had no problem. You know, they won handily. Mm-hmm. That second game, they were down. Yep. And and I don't know. I asked Coach Kravitz. I don't know if the kids knew what was on the line there, but man, they fought back, and that's what they did all year, just like you just said.
Fourth big moment, I got North Lenoir at Greene Central here in March, and man,
that was 2.5 months ago. Yeah,
it was a game.
It was playoff.
We had playoffs in March.
Yeah.
We definitely had playoffs in March. Both teams came out. Jackson Jenkins picked a heck of a game. Was it Hardy or Burst? Burst was pitching that night. I remember the Rams leaving a lot on the base, but that just was North Lenoir's defense to me. They got out of jams. Jackson Jenkins is a competitor. So is Braden Burst. They both just got out of jams. They fought through it, and it was
2-0.
It was nerve-wracking.
It was a 2-0 ball game. Could have went either way. But yeah, I mean, that was a huge moment this season, and I'm gonna finish it up. And it's gonna be a game that was here. It just happened a couple weeks ago.
Third round.
So last Friday, South Lenoir came to Greene County in the second round of playoffs. It was second round of playoffs, and they played Greene Central. Now, they lost that game, but that was a huge game. South Lenoir showed out. Tadpole, he pitched really well against North Lenoir in that 2-0 victory against the Hawks. He was dealing right over there. And that was a huge moment for me this year.
And then I go right back to Braden Burris on that one. He pitched through a lot of tough situations, man. They got timely hits. They got big hits. Hold on. Was that Hardy?
No.
It wasn't. Okay.
No,
yeah,
it took me a second.
Because Hardy just pitched that bunt.
Yeah.
He got through a bunch of tough situations. It was a heck of a game. I think it was 0-0 through the fourth. Rams finally put one up on the fifth. Hey, everybody knows I'm from Greene County. All right, my son plays center field, left field. My knees were shaking the whole game. And I got friends behind me from South Lenoir that we played. I got Coach Frog, I got Miss Pam, Coach Braxton, Coach Bird, Miss Stephanie, I got Coach Kenny, all them behind me. And all I know is we could not lose to South Lenoir because I said they weren't legit after 6 games, and they would have toasted me. Do you understand what I'm saying? They would have toasted me.
A marshmallow.
But I got to give my props to South Lenoir, man. They were legit, and that's not even a joke. I firmly want to say South Lenoir, North Lenoir, and Greene Central are the best 3 teams in Eastern North Carolina 2A baseball, and I firmly believe that. Great job to South Lenoir. That was a great moment. It was a great win.
A huge win.
No doubt. All right, let's roll into it. We got 4th round matchups. We got number 2 seed Whiteville, number 3 seed North Lenoir at Whiteville. Also, we have number 1 seed Greene Central at number 4 seed Midway at Greene Central, who's number 1 seed. Before we jump into that, last week in the first round, it was this week. It was this week. This week in the 3rd round, man, dude.
We had some pitching gems, and you and I talked about it. And I'm gonna bring these guys up. I'm gonna start with Austin Hardy here.
You seen it yourself?
Yeah. In the playoffs so far, he's got 2 starts. He's 2-0 in those 2 starts. 10 innings pitched. He's faced 40 batters, allowed 4 hits, 1 run allowed, and 21 strikeouts. He's dealing.
Yep.
He's dealing on the mound, and he's done it all season. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
But his playoff performance so far stands out to me. The other one is going to be for North Lenoir, Eli Kearney. Eli, he has come in relief in 3 games in the playoffs. 7.2 innings pitched. He's faced 29 batters, 0 hits, 0 runs, only 2 walks and 12 strikeouts. Now, he's coming in behind Garrett Bird. He's coming in behind Jenkins. Eli Kearney has been what Coach Scherer has needed, for this team to be in the 4th round of the playoffs.
No doubt. And to know how big this moment is for this kid, you have to know the kid. The kid, Eli doesn't talk much. He's not your sociable guy. I mean, he's a great kid, great lovable kid, but he doesn't show that emotion. He doesn't, he's on his own pace. He's on his own course.
He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low.
But Monday night against, who was it? Against Martin County.
I want to call
Dude
him
was pumped.
Yeah, he was.
Dude was pumped.
Yeah.
That's what I need to see.
Yeah.
I need to see the emotion. I need to see this is playoff baseball. I got that last out right then, and I'm celebrating all the way to the dugout, yelling because I'm friggin' hyped.
Yeah.
And I seen that.
The last couple North Lenoir games I've been to, I've sat over kind of down the first base side, the bullpen's right there, and you see it in the major league when you hear that walk-up song or whatever. There's not really one for Eli, but man, he goes into that bullpen and he gets warmed up. He's throwing that ball up against the wall. He's stretching. Then he starts throwing, getting ready to come into the game. And his face, like you said, he's ready for the action.
I was texting with his dad not too long ago, and I was telling him Eli needs the Undertaker walkout music.
Yeah,
because he comes out serious face, locked in, no emotion. And he deals.
Well, I mean, look, if you're Whiteville and you're breaking down North Lenoir, you're going to see Garrett Bird, Jackson Jenkins, whoever's pitching for them. But if you're a coach, you're like, hey man, even if we get through and we kind of beat up the starting pitcher. We don't have it easy.
Yep.
A lot of these teams don't have a guy like Eli Kearney.
Yep.
Now he can start. He has started for the Hawks this year, but he has done his performance, what he's done in relief in these first three games of the state playoffs. I mean, it's something special.
All right, jumping into our matchups, we're going to start with the number 2 seed Whiteville. Whiteville's 22-1, 11-1 at home. They're playing number 3 seed North Lenoir, like we mentioned before. They're 20-4, might be 21-4. It's at Whiteville. It's going to be a great matchup, man. Whiteville also has an outstanding run to runs allowed ratio. They have scored 219 runs, only allowed 48. That's tough.
And the crazy stat for me, or I don't even call it a stat, they're on a 22-game win streak. They lost their opening game of the season to Cape Fear 4-0, and they have done nothing but put that in the rear view mirror and have charged on.
And I got to mention, they're very, very well coached. They got a young head coach. I think this is his second year, Turner Brown. He used to play for ECU recently. He played under Coach Cliff Godwin. The team's going to be fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
They're going to be ready. They have already got big wins in the playoffs against Lewisburg 10-0. They beat Southwest James Cone 7-4. They beat Seaforth in a rain delay 6-1. And they're ranked 27th in the state out of all classifications. This is a big-time game.
Yeah, and, a lot of people who are watching this know a lot of baseball goes through Whiteville.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hawks do not – I mean, I ain't going to sugarcoat it. This is going to be a tough matchup for them.
Yep.
But they're going down there playing the number 2 seed in the 2A East, who are on a streak, but they've got what it takes.
And let's talk a little bit more about it. They got a kid named Ashton. For all the fans that are going, they got a kid named Ashton Hammonds. He's number 11. He's their number 1 pitcher. And we don't have no stats on him, by the way. We dug deep.
They're one of them smart coaches. You know, them really good teams, when you go to max preps, you don't find nothing.
No, you don't find
You got to go through Game Changer and back and
but
back.
Sometimes I'm a little smarter. I can't say that so many times. So
yeah.
I dug deeper, and I dug into the Facebook page. And their high school Facebook page, I seen him pitching their last game.
Yeah.
And I think he started the game. I know he finished it, but I think he finished the game. And if that's true, I don't think he's eligible to pitch this game. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But with that being said, I also don't think Jenkins or Kearney is ready. I might be wrong on this, guys, but this is where playoff baseball and depth pitching comes into play right here.
Yeah, I don't think, Jenkins pitched. He maxed out Tuesday night. Or Monday night, because they moved their game up Monday. I think what you're going to see is, from what we've seen throughout the year, is Garrett Bird going to the mound for Coach Scherer. But man, what a matchup this is going to be.
Big time, man. I believe in the Hawks. I know they're going to come down because their last couple of games have been defensive games, 3-1, 1-1 down to the 10th inning, just down to the wire games, and that speaks a lot about their pitching and their defense, and just getting timely hits.
And I mean, it's going to help in a game like this against a very good Whiteville team. I think it's going to be a close game. Of course, I haven't seen Whiteville.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Whiteville at all. I just looking at looking at the record pretty much. So we said they don't have any stats up. But, what I know of watching, North Lenoir and what we've kind of seen from Whiteville on the record-wise, this is not going to be a blowout game. Man, this is going to be a game that's, 2-1, 3-1, 4-2. And it's something that North Lenoir has experience in, not only from last year, but from this year.
Big game.
That game at the very beginning of the season, we talked about it on Down the Line. I said, I don't think this is a bad loss for North Lenoir. This is only going to help them. I would love to, I'd love to be in the dugout, fly on the wall, and kind of just see how that team is, approaches Friday night.
Yeah, it's gonna be big time, man, and big time atmosphere. I would love to feel that vibe that's in that energy in that locker room. Moving on, number 1 seed Greene Central is facing number 4 seed Midway. The winners of these games goes to the Eastern Regional Finals of both matchups that we talked about. And Midway's 20-5. They're 6-2 on the road. They scored 195 runs, allowed 85 this year. I think the big key on this team is John McLamb. John McLamb bats .408, 28 RBIs, 10 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs. But most importantly, he is a dog on the mound. He's a 7-1 guy. .96 ERA with 100 strikeouts. How they match up with Greene Central batters and vice versa is going to be what to look at.
Yeah, 100%.
We know Greene Central is going to bring the defense, but
They're going to bring the pitching. They're going to bring the defense. What's going to happen with their bats?
That's right. And only time can tell, and time is clicking.
Sure.
Let's run over a few more players. Sophomore infielder Carson 2. Watch out for him. 366 batting average, 23 RBIs, 3 doubles, 1 home run. Senior Trip Westbrook, 338 batting average, 21 RBIs, 6 doubles. They have 6 batters batting 300, so that shows a solid lineup right there behind a good pitcher. Also, this is not a big hitting team. This is not a big hitting team. When I went and broke down the stats, they only got, as a team, they only have 4 triples. Now, let me make sure I say this right. They only have 4 doubles and 3 triples on the season. But they got 6 guys batting 300.
So that means they're getting on base.
That means they're getting on base and they're just hitting the ball.
Yeah.
They're making things happen.
And not to throw anything against their pitchers, but, they also have 3 other pitchers with at least 34 game appearances and a combined 9 wins. Some of their big matchups defeated Jordan Matthews 5-0, Farmville Central, who we've seen quite a bit, 9-5, and Bartlett Yancey 3-1.
Yeah, man. And so now we're at the point where you're in the 4th round. It don't matter who you're playing.
Yeah, if you're here in this, if you're playing this Friday night, you're good.
You're good. There's no if
you're
and
good.
buts about it.
You can win you can be lucky sometimes and get a win, but you're not going to get 3 lucky wins in a row. So you're going to face somebody who's good, and that's what we have here.
So the part of telling the Rams don't overlook it, that should be out the window. They know what's at stake right here.
Yeah,
they know what's locked in. We talked to Coach Brand before this, and we know that the Rams are going to be ready tomorrow night. I truly believe that. What do you think?
I think they will be too. I mean, I don't see. We've talked about it all year. I mean, I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse when I say it. The bottom of the lineup for Greene Central is where we want where they get their spark from. Their defense, you've seen it. I mean, out here every time I've come to see Greene Central play, they're locked in. Like you said, we over me. And that mentality and what they've got, the coaching staff, every aspect of their game, I think is, key for them to move on.
There's 2 things I want to hit on is the we over me. You got guys all over the lineup between Easton Creech, the Riley Rapper, the Noah Uzzell, to the whole bottom of the lineup that we mentioned earlier. They just come out here and do a job.
And I'm going to say this about Greene Central and North Lenoir. Both of those teams are very humble.
Yep.
Their guys are very humble. You have a guy at Greene Central, Braden Burris, who's committed to ECU, which is a top 10. I haven't seen the latest poll. Top 10 team in the nation. You would never think, that he doesn't. Oh, I'm committed to go to ECU. You look at North Lenoir with Blake Crawford, who's going to UNCW. It's both teams. I said it about Greene Central, but it's also North Lenoir too. Both of those teams have that we over me mentality, and that's what you're going to need for a chance to be playing in the Eastern Regional Finals.
And the one last thing I want to talk about with this team is we looked at the pitching. We seen the both pitchers are under 1 ERA. We've seen both pitchers almost have 10 wins. We've seen the strikeouts. And there's no doubt there's a great coaching staff in that dugout. But if you didn't know, the sophomore catcher, Will Rapper calls the games. Yeah. To be a sophomore catcher and call the games, I don't even have to say nothing else. The stats speak for themselves. Yeah. Because the connection's there, the chemistry's there. There's nothing getting by him. Dog, I'm so impressed. I mean, you got the catcher getting no love because the pitcher, that's the glory. But this dude's running the show. Yeah. And it takes a lot of guts to give the keys to a sophomore and say, hey,
there you go.
Call the game.
Don't wreck it. Don't wreck it. Bring it back in one piece.
Don't wreck the Benz.
Yeah, don't wreck the Benz. But what they've got is they might have a McLaren out here at this point. 24-0. They didn't give him the keys to a Civic. That's
right.
For sure.
That's right. All right, guys, that's all I got. Big shout out to Greene Central Diamond Club, GC Diamond Club. I might be messing that up a little bit. I'm sorry. But
come on, man, you're a Greene Central.
Hey, man, I'm too excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for game day right now. And this is game day.
Yeah, this is game day.
This is game day. But Shout out to the North Lenoir parents that also helped sponsor this. Good luck to both teams. They are our coverage teams, and we are no doubt pulling for both teams.
Yeah, you know why? For me, I want to do this next week, and I want it to be Greene Central and North Lenoir who we're breaking down playing each other. I know that you don't want that. I mean, emotionally, I don't know if you can handle that.
Selfishly, I don't want it because it's too much nerves. Because I grew up with these kids too.
Yeah.
I grew up Blake Crawford, Carter Chadwick, Jaden Miller. I mean, all of them play with my son, and I love them just as much as I love my son. And that would be tough. Just like South Lenoir game, it was tough. So, hey, hopefully, we'll see you next week. This is Trey Scott.
Ryan Pittman.
Game day.